ladies and gentlemen, about 5 hours ago, I put on this headset. I got us ready for the game with the pregame show, and I talked about how it was going to be tough to beat this Celtics team tonight. That the Blazers team that had squandered a couple games here and there, who had opportunities to win games late against Boston and Orlando, a Blazers team that played a great first half and then stumbled in the second half against the Clippers, they were going to have to be just unbelievable to beat a Celtics team that was coming in, one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference, a team that has lit it on fire, has played better than everyone thought they were going to play this year. They still got Jaylen Brown. Peyton Pritchard can light it up. Derek White has been phenomenal. It's the return of Anthony Simons. The Blazers need to do a lot. And for a minute there, it looked like it was going to fall apart, but it did not. As the Blazers took every single shot that the Celtics had, and they righted the ship and fixed their mistakes in the second half, and they ended up with a highly improbable but highly impressive 114-108 victory over the visiting Boston Celtics. Welcome into the fifth quarter. Chris Burkhardt here with you. If you'd like to join the conversation with us tonight, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You can also hit us up. Just go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, join us there, or hit us up on the brand new text line, 88528. I mean, there was so much to like about this game. I thought that they looked sloppy early, but so did the Celtics. I think that was what kind of kept the Blazers in this game, was despite the fact that they played poorly in that first half, the Celtics didn't look much better. I mentioned on social media at halftime, the Blazers averaged the most turnovers in the league, 17.2. The Celtics averaged the fewest, 12.1. Well, at halftime, both of those teams were almost at their game averages. Portland had 16 and Boston had 10 at halftime. And then Portland turned it around. They had 4 turnovers in the first 4 minutes of the game. That's kind of how you felt what this game was going to be like. But they only had 4 turnovers in the entire second half. Turned it around, controlled the basketball, took care of the situation, and got a big victory, and you got to give them credit for that. I thought at times during this game it looked a little sketchy. Like I said, the Celtics looked a little sketchy as well. And over on the YouTube chat, Elijah says, Caleb Love for the game ball. And yeah, boy howdy, didn't he have himself a game. He hit big shots when they needed him to. Absolutely love that. And we got one of our texters says, no more making excuses for Denny. His inability to make free throws in the fourth is a real issue that he needs to address. He's been a factor in several games, and it has been a factor, and it almost reared its ugly head tonight. I don't know what the answer is, but you got to hit your free throws. You absolutely have to hit your free throws. We'll talk about that here in just a second, but let's take a look at how this game broke down. I mean, ball control, like I said, was an issue. It's something we said in the pregame show, and it reared its ugly head in the first half. Blazers had turned the ball over on their first 2 possessions. They had 4 turnovers in the first 4 minutes. The Celtics got out to a quick 9-1 lead. They were 4 for 4 from the floor. The Blazers did eventually settle in, cut the lead to 23-22, and they were up 31-30 after 1. In the second quarter, the Celtics called timeout at about the 9-minute mark because the Blazers were trying to get things going. Shaedon Sharpe has a nice little hesitation dribble, gets the layup. He gives the Blazers a 38-32 lead, but from that point, the Celtics absolutely turned it on, and Jaylen Brown had a phenomenal step-back 3 over the outstretched arm to Chris Murray to end the half. 27 points in the first half from Jaylen Brown, 15 points from Sharpe, and the Celtics had a 63-55 lead. The third quarter, the Blazers outscored the Celtics, and here we go, the ebbs and flows of the basketball game, right? The Blazers were in a position to maybe win this game, and we are waiting for the dam to break. Like we've seen this before. Can the Blazers hold on to the lead is the question. And then for a second there, the last 4 minutes of the game, looking at you, Detroit, we saw it happen. We thought it was going to happen again. It was 103-100 when Denny Avdia gets hit in the face on a Jaylen Brown layup attempt. I honestly thought that he had his elbow out as he went up for the layup. I don't think he actually tried to hit Denny in the face or threw it out egregiously. I didn't think they were going to call it a flagrant, but they went to review. They did. So the Blazers get the 2 free throws and possession. And this is what our texter was talking about, missed free throws. Denny Avdia. He misses both free throws on the ensuing possession. The Blazers fail to get a bucket, and that was a chance to make you hit both free throws and you get a three-pointer. You turn it into, what, a 9-point game? Or I guess still, excuse, not a 9-point game. That'd be 6. You turned it into an 8-point game. You know, you had a chance there to make it at least a 5-point game, but you could have really extended that lead, but you missed your opportunity. At the 2-minute mark, Denny Avdia has a bad pass, runs into the lane, kind of gets stuck in no man's land, passes it to DC. DC fumbles it. The Celtics luckily don't convert, so you still are keeping that lead. Sharp gets fouled at the minute and 8-second mark, misses the first of the 2 free throws. You can just hear the gasp in the arena, just, oh, because it's just the missed free throws late. You're like, this is going to bite you. Makes 1 of 2. It's 107-105. Denny hits a 2 with 48 seconds left, makes it 109-105. Derek White strikes back with a 3. It's 109-108. The Blazers flex on him, though. They go back down the floor, 22.4 seconds left. DC gets probably the biggest rebound of the game, and I had been complaining about the fact that he had been getting some offensive rebounds and then just automatically passing it up top the key. Just get a rebound and just passes it out to clear it. Now, I was like, get the rebound and just go straight back up and try to get a bucket. Like Shaquille O'Neal would not pass the ball back out up top to reset a play. He would get the rebound, take his little power step, and just go up for a savage dunk. Well, at this time, Donovan Clingan gets the rebound, goes straight back up, hits the shot and the and one, and that was basically what iced it for the Blazers right there. Final score 114-108. Taking a look overall at the box score, Jaylen Brown led the way with 37 points for the Celtics. That was to lead all scorers. In fact, 11 points from Ninias Kita. That's a fun name. 12 points from Derek White. Peyton Pritchard, 9 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Anthony Simons in his return, 13 points, 1 assist, and 1 awesome tribute video, which you obviously saw the love they were giving Simons, and he appreciated it, which was nice. A little weird to see him in a different uniform, but I'm glad he didn't get the W. That's always nice. On the Blazers side of things, balance all the way around. Chris Murray only had 5 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds, starting for the still injured Jeremy Grant. But the Blazers had 5 players with 18 or more points. Caleb Love led the way on the Trailblazers bench with 18 points, 18 of the 21 bench points for the Trailblazers. The other 3 coming from Young Hansa and Sidi Sissoko did not score. But the starters, they poured it in. Denny Avdia had 24 points and 10 assists, along with 7 rebounds, 26 points from Shaedon Sharpe. Donovan Clingan, 18 points to go along with 18 rebounds. And we talked about it in the pregame show that offensive rebounding was going to be at a premium. They really needed to clean the glass against this team, because we were trying to look at the things that the Celtics did well, and obviously they shoot a lot of threes. They make a lot of threes. They took 45 threes in this one. They made 13 of them, so the three-point percentage was not there for them tonight. That's obviously a factor in the game, but you started looking at what they do well, and then you found what the Blazers did well. And one thing the Blazers have done well all year long is rebounding, especially on the offensive side of the ball, and Donovan Clingan came up clutch. 7 offensive rebounds for DC, and they needed every single one of them. And then Toumani Camara chipped in 20 points as well, 4 3-pointers, 7 of 14 from the floor. He had 3 assists, 4 rebounds, and a steal. So all the way around, a pretty good game for your Portland Trailblazers. And the crazy part is that I don't understand this team at times. How you can battle hard, you can come back, and then you drop it. The game to the Pistons, you battle back, and then you lose the game to Orlando, and okay, Clippers are going to come into town. You're gonna win this game because they're one of the worst teams in the conference, but they just destroy you. And now you're like, oh my gosh, you're 0-3 on this 5-game homestand. You need to get a win in the worst way, and you have to play the Celtics. Beating this team is going to be hard. And somehow, some way, they get the job done. Man. Also, we get a shout out in the chat. Says, hey, Chris, Thank you for taking the time during halftime to meet my son and I. Thanks from Adam and Russell. And big shout out to Adam and Russell. Also shout out to my friend Keith and his wife Abby because I did not hear my name yelled. I was making a beeline for the next section we were going to. We're walking up the 300 concourse. Someone says Chris Burkhardt. I just totally missed it. Turn around, and it was a listener. And Adam was telling me he listens to game day every day, listens to the fifth quarter, and he and his son were just enjoying the game. And I just got to say, it's awesome. It's awesome when you guys stop and say hi to me and say you appreciate listening to the show, because at least I know that someone out there is enjoying it, and it means a lot. It really does. It's not lost on me how cool that is. So no, I think the thanks goes to you, Adam and Russell, for shouting me out, saying hi, and taking the time to stop. I'm always willing to say hi, so it was cool. Thank you very much for listening, as always, and hope you guys enjoyed the game. It's always nicer to drive home listening to the fifth quarter after a Trailblazers victory. There we go. Woohoo, Blazers win. Anytime they shoot the confetti out the rafters, it's a good day. It's a good day. Now, if you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You can also hit us up on YouTube. Let's go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio. Join the conversation there. Where this comment Ben just typed in, I was going to get to this because I agree here. Don't forget that Denny played 39 minutes every game and carries a lot of responsibilities, so missing the free throws is understandable. I think the missing the free throws is just frustrating because of the time in which they happen. But no, absolutely. There's been plenty of times where he's at the free throw and you could just tell he is gassed. He has been asked to do quite a bit. Now, you just get through. I think he'll, get through this, start hitting those free throws. It's okay. There's so much that he does well for you along the line. It's just more of the fact, honestly, that the way the game was playing out, it was started to feel, you started to get that uneasy feeling in your stomach, like, oh no, here we go again. Oh no, here we go again. They're gonna, But they came through. I mean, Donovan Clingan got his and one, and that's what you needed. So you got to shout him out there. And I definitely think all the good Denny does is not going to be undone just because he misses a couple free throws. Do you want him to hit him? Of course you do. But also maybe next year in those late game situations you need free throws. You're also going to have a healthy Dame. And before anyone comes at me and goes, oh well, I'm not expecting Dame to be like he was back in 2019. Yeah, I don't think I am either. No one else is. But here's until the day Damian Lillard retires, he's still going to be able to go hit 90 out of 100 free throws. I mean, how many times we watch that guy just nothing but net, nothing but net, nothing but net. He's a free throw shooter. He's a shooter in general, which the Blazers also need in the worst way, so it'll be nice to get him back. But no, Ben, I definitely think that being a little fatigued definitely plays into this. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on the fifth quarter. When we come back, got our drive of the night, shot of the night. Also going to head to the coach's corner and hand out a game ball. If you're waiting on the phone, stay there. We're going to grab you as soon as we get back. Once again, if you want to join that conversation on the phone, 503-248-0620 is that telephone number. Blazers, big victory, 114-108 over the Celtics. We'll continue to talk about it after the break here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. That's right. Donovan Clingan with a massive game tonight, 18 points and 18 rebounds for the Blazers. Big man. Welcome back in to the fifth quarter. Chris Burkhardt here with you, breaking down this awesome victory over the Celtics tonight. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. 88528 is the text line. And, of course, you can go to youtube.com, type in RIP City Radio 620 and join the conversation right there, where Ben doubles down on the Denny fatigue factor. Says if Drew Holiday or Scoot will return, they'll be able to carry out the ball and will allow more breathing time for Denny. Denny will be more effective once Drew or Scoot are back on the court. And you know what? I don't necessarily disagree with that at all. He's been put in that weird position where, I mean, we always knew he's going to carry the ball up the court a little bit, but I mean, you get him back where he's not having to play point guard so much. I think that's really good for him. Absolutely. All right, let's head out to the phone lines now, where Bryce in North Portland has been waiting patiently. Bryce, welcome in to the fifth quarter, bud.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well, man. What do you got for us?
Well, I think just listening in on the line, like, you know, it's a tough argument to see the offensive numbers that Denny Avdia is putting up and then missing the free throws and not feel like you have a beautiful reincarnation of the spirit of, like, Laker Shaq, where everybody, you know, like, great on the, you know, offensive board, second chance opportunities, you know, like a very formidable person on most layups, and then 27 feet, and also, like, pretty high percentage at the line, you know, like, okay, cool, like, and then you want to foul him because of a history of fatigue, and the same thing you're saying with it. But I really, my hot take kind of is, I like that transitional period somewhere late in the second quarter, early third quarter, where Ponson Yang got, like, in on the floor, unless they got a tainted Miller Lite or whatever, Coors Light. And, you know, like, I feel like, you know, I thought it was some good minutes and some good transitional basketball. Additionally, stripping Jaylen Brown and White, they're, you know, like, Spootifer built after, I think it's 11 for 1 and 12 years in the NBA, getting them with that, like, simple primary basketball, fundamental backcourt violations and technical things like that. Even if Denny Avdia misses the majority of free throws, as long as you can come up with a converting board on an offensive rebound right there in the paint in a one-point game situation, that'll still put you up one possession but a three-point advantage. And I like that for any oncoming Blazers teams, especially Denny and Dame's interactions. I think will be just classically great basketball to watch. And as a Blazers fan, even if it doesn't make, like, ESPN's, like, looking back hot reel, I think it'll be great to log into my mind forever.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And this is the idea of what you get with Denny when you get a healthy Dame in there, and I think when you get guys who can take a little gravity off of Denny, I mean, just get even Shaedon Sharpe shooting the ball a little more consistently. Those things are going to make Denny better. They're also going to make guys like Tumani better in the long run too, because defenses have a pretty easy time scouting these guys right now when they don't have a lot of help around them.
One thing with the coaching situation bothers me, because I have myself on it. I'm a bit of an Orioles fan, just getting into baseball. But I don't like the idea of people turning on Thiago Splitter now for the record he has. Like, outside of any of the things with whatever alleged against Chauncey Billups, I think Thiago Splitter, for taking an understudy coach, offensive coordinating coach, like, just a very focused coaching position coming off of his win with the EuroLeague. I think he's doing a great job for the league, and You know what? That shows in the Western Conference positioning, because you could say every other coach that is doing a little bit worse with their record, and they've had a little bit longer record this year. You know, like, what is Thiago Splitter doing right? That I just don't want it to be like the Orioles, where, what was it, Tony Mansolino ran their organization, and he did a great job. Like, they had the same record as the Mets coming off of the coaching decision change, and it's just the season that preceded it could work it back. And it's not the same thing, but it's just like, I feel like when the fan base got really grumpy at that, he left the organization to try to get a clean slate. And I think ultimately, I don't know if Thiago Splitter is going to, like, pull a hat trick and really make a really good run at the Western Conference Finals. But I don't think that if it doesn't work out, he should have to, you know, like, we're Bridge City. There's no way he could burn all of them.
No, he won't. He won't. Here's the thing.
I'd love him to stay with the organization as at least a consultant on offensive coordinating. Well, I think it's been fantastic.
Well, here's the thing, Bryce, and thanks for the call as always. Here's the thing on Thiago. I will be a Thiago defender for as long as I can be. I love what Thiago Splitter does for this team. I think you're seeing the little stamp of what he wants this team to be. I like the fact there was a play today where the Blazers got the dead ball, got the inbound. He writes up a play. They turn the ball over, and he calls a timeout because he's irritated. And you can see him say a couple choice words as he walks away from the bench, waiting for the team to come over. Because like those are the things that are frustrating him. He knows what they need to do. He knows what he wants them to do. It's just a matter of getting them to actually do it. And I get in this conversation today with a fan who's like, hire Mike Malone. Mike Malone is a free agent coach, and we saw what he did in Denver, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mike Malone is great. Well, I like Mike Malone. I like Mike Malone a lot. I thought he did wonderfully in Denver. He also had a little time in Sacramento. And right now, after the win tonight, Thiago Splitter is sitting at, 13 and 18 as a coach, and about 41% for a win percentage. And obviously, it's a small sample size. But the great Mike Malone, he was 28 and 54 that first year in Sacramento. They started the next year 11 and 13. They fired him. His career record is in I said San Antonio, Sacramento. His career record there, 39 and 67, good for 36%. So Thiago Splitter has a better win percentage than Mike Malone had in Sacramento. And at the time when they fired him in Sacramento, most people were like, "What? Why?" Like, I get that the previous year was bad, but you're finally starting to kind of play the ball you want. Boogie loves you. So you got a generational talent there with a coach. They fire him. He goes to Denver. The rest is history. Turns Denver around. They go win an NBA championship. And the first year in Denver wasn't like anything great. They were 33 and 49, and then he starts slowly building it together. Sometimes a coach takes a little bit of time, but you can see the pieces. Like when they fired Mike Malone in Sacramento, there were legit people who were like, "What? That doesn't make a lot. This guy's going to be good," and he was. And I think Thiago Splitter is going to be good. Most people pegged him to be a coach at some point in his career, and here he is, lucky enough that Portland has him for the time being. What the future holds, we'll see. But I like it right now. I'll tell you that much because I like Thiago Splitter a lot. And so, yeah, I don't want him here as a consultant. I want him here as the coach, and I want him to succeed. We'll see where that goes in the future. Now, real quick before we head to a break, also, Denny Avdia for a second. Talking about those free throws, and yeah, he's missed some. Also, you're under a microscope when you're at the line so many times late in games, because Denny Avdia leads the league in free throw attempts in the fourth quarter with 91. He also leads the league or second in the league, in free throw makes in the fourth quarter with 70. Now he does shoot 76.9% in the fourth quarter, which that may gives you a little bit of pause. But also at the same time, you want to know who's sixth in the league in free throw attempts in the fourth quarter? Jaylen Brown. And Jaylen Brown shoots just 71% on those free throws in the fourth quarter. So it's not, sometimes the guys who have a lot on their back, sometimes they get to the line and they falter a little bit. Now, that's not saying everyone does, because Devin Booker is fourth on the list and he shoots 87%. But also there's a difference between Devin Booker and Denny Avdija when we're just talking pure shooters, right? Shooters tend to get to the free throw line and know what they're doing. Now, it didn't hurt Shaquille O'Neal at all. Shaquille O'Neal made quite an impact on the ball game, despite the fact that Hack-a-Shaq was a legit strategy people used because they knew he couldn't make free throws. Denny Avdija ain't Shaquille O'Neal at the free throw line, I'll tell you that much. Would you like him to hit some more? Yeah, but he is also going to the line more than anybody in the fourth quarter because he's trying to put this team on his back. I'll take that. I'll take that. The free throws, they hurt. They can annoy you a little bit, but everything else he does right, as you mentioned, it's worth that little bit of a headache to me, and I do think that headache will eventually work itself out. This is the fifth quarter. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. Hit us up on the text line, 88528, or go to youtube.com. Type in Rip City Radio. Join the chat there. Patrick says he misses me. I miss you too, Patrick. Elijah's been chiming in. Keep Tiago. Sign him to a 5-year contract. I don't know what the contract is, but I'm with you, Elijah. I like Tiago. I like him a lot. And to all my listeners, they do know that because I defended it when they hired him. I thought it was the best hire of Chauncey Billups' time here when it came to his assistants, because that's how much I liked Tiago Splitter coming in. And I'm watching him here because I love his approach. I like what he does, and whether it's here in Portland or somewhere in the future, because you never know what happens, I still think he's going to be a really good coach. I really do. Hopefully for Portland's sake, he keeps winning while he's right here. All right, we're going to take a break here on the fifth quarter. When we come back, it's time to head to the Coach's Corner here from Tiago Splitter. We'll also hand out a game ball and get out of here because we got another game coming up tomorrow. But before we head to break, it's time for your shot of the night.
Live from the Coors Light Studios, Coors Light, Mountain Cold Refreshment. Choose chill. Time for the fifth quarter shot of the night on your home of the Portland Trailblazers. 620 Rip City Radio.
Love slides the pass around to Sissoko, back to Love for a wide open three. Buries it. 18 points for Caleb Love.
What do I think of Bobby cheating you in fantasy championship? He couldn't win the Boca Raton Bowl, so he had to get back at you. That's what happened. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. Hot fantasy football talk, which I'm watching this game closely because Brock Purdy's all of a sudden put together a game where he might absolutely light the the rails on fire here because there's no defense being played, and I got a slim lead in this championship game, and Brock Purdy's on the other team. So come on, Brock, tone it down a little bit. Tone it down. All right, we're gonna take a break. We'll be right back.
I think staying strong, those up and downs, and keep fighting, keep believing. The energy in the bench, even halftime, when we were down a little bit, the guys you could feel there was energy in the group and in the room. We turned over the ball 16 times in the first half, and we basically said, well, we can take care of the ball in the second half. It's going to be another game. And they did that. They took care of the ball better. I think we turned over 5 times in the second half. Changed the game for us. Of course, you got to make shots. Free throws were not there, but, we made 18 threes. That helps.
You guys were so good defensively in the last couple of minutes. What did you see there? What did you have to respond to the defensive effort?
Ready for the assignments, with Brown. I think CD brought energy. Training always, DC protecting the rim, rebounding was huge. But as a group, the energy was there. We were fighting every screen we were going, they had great players that can shoot the ball. One of the best shooting teams in the league, so they had to fight all those screens, getting over and under. They did a good job navigating those situations.
You talk about the turnovers, Coach. You had actually 4 in the second half. You didn't score in any of those. Is that something you guys talk about in the locker room when you go in about taking care of the ball, or kind of how did it's such a stark difference between the first half and the second?
Well, Casey, that's tricky. It's hard to tell them don't turn over the ball, because then the reaction is, well, I'm going to be less aggressive. So it's a balance, or okay. Try not to get those dumb runs where a guy's right there and you pass over there. Where you see a hand in the passing lane and you're throwing, or trying a difficult run. We're still going to work on those long passes that I don't like, but you just got to be smart. And that's, the ball is valuable. We got to take care of it. So I think they understood. Hopefully we can carry that for the rest of the season. Because it's huge. We turn over the ball a lot. We can find excuses, whatever we want. But, guys not used to play in those positions. But we gotta just fix it, trying to get better.
All right, there you hear from head coach Tiago Splitter. It is time to get out of here, though. The music played. My wife, I think she misses me. She's texted me beautifully. So, you gonna wrap Coach up? You gonna head home? So I decided to play, Mama, I'm Coming Home to end the show, because I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna head home, babe. Text me if you need me to stop at the store. I probably won't, because I'm just ready to come straight home. Because I gotta get rest, because we're gonna do this again tomorrow. The Blazers right back at it here at Moda Center, 7:30 tip against the Dallas Mavericks. That means I will have Blazers game day for you at 5:30, right on time, breaking down the rest of this game and then getting you ready for the Mavericks. Elijah's asking me, what are the keys to the game? I don't know yet. I got to do some of that fancy research. But we'll be back at it tomorrow, 5:30 on Blazers game day. Once again, final score from Moda tonight. Trailblazers, they battle and grab an improbable victory, but it still felt so sweet. 114-108.